I'd like to talk about, you see a situation, you know it's bad, you got to haul the bike down. Back when I first started riding, a common thought was, all right, well, lock the back brake up and lay the bike down. You're never going to stop it in time, and that's the safest thing to do, and your best bet's to lay the bike down. No. You don't do that. Because metal, you laid the bike down, metal against concrete or asphalt, it's not going to stop you well. You're going to keep sliding and sliding. Never mind. And you could technically get in front of the bike, and then whatever you were trying to avoid, you hit it first, and then the bike hits you and jams you into it again. Stay on the bike. Keep the bike and the road and rubber connected. Use your front brake, and there's a lot to be said about using a front brake. Don't stab the brake, but slow, even progressive pressure. That's your best chance of getting out of it, and look for a way out while you're slowing down. I mean, this stuff happens in seconds, but you don't want to lay the bike down. Look for ways out, but you get on that front brake. A little bit of the back brake. Someone wrote once, it takes 80% or 70% of your brain matter to properly manage the back brake in a stop. That's a lot of brain matter for something that's only going to add about 10% or 20% to your stopping power. Why not use 100% of your brain matter? Yeah, a light touch on the back brake. That's what you really want in most cases. And concentrate on using that front brake to get your butt hauled down. I mean, this is just me after, reading, applying what I read, talking to people, applying after 50 plus years of riding. Yeah, your back brake is important at times, but in an emergency situation, keep that rubber on the road, and your front brake is 90% your best friend. And practice panic stops using your front brake with just a little bit of back brake tension. If you get in the habit of putting the same tension on the back brake, most of the time you're good with that. Panic stop, man, 90% of your braking, in fact, more than that. You can use your front brake. Don't put the bike down. And you'd be surprised. SJ just had one. You can see it in the video, a previous video, where she didn't panic. I was far enough behind her. She didn't have to worry about looking for me. Person pulled out in front of her. She used that front brake, and she avoided a bad situation. You could time it out, look at the expansive joints in the road, look at whatever. She hauled that bike down, and she avoided running into the back of this person. She avoided an accident that if someone was just using the back brake and decided to put the bike down, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Once you put that bike down, you're in an accident. Yeah, anybody that tells you got to learn how to lay that bike down, if you're not, no, and no.
Yeah, you had a friend that laid the bike down, never even made contact with the car.
Yes. Yeah, he laid the bike down and never made contact with the car. Someone acted like they were going to make a left-hand turn in front of him, and he laid the bike down.
He panicked.
And he or the bike never got near the car.
No, but he got hurt.
He got hurt, yeah. And I mean, if you have the money and, you don't mind some road rash, get your bike going at about 60 miles an hour, lock the back brake up, get it sideways, but time, time when you first applied the brake and time when you and the bike stopped. And then once you get out of the hospital, out of an emergency ward for your road rash or whatever, get another bike and try doing that with just using the front brake and a light touch on the rear brake.
Well, I think a lot of people today that lay their bike down like your friend, I think a lot of it actually has to do with panicking. They're so unsure that when a situation actually pops up, like a car getting ready to make a left or something out in the road or an animal that comes out in the road, I think a lot of it tends to be panic, and that's the worst thing in my opinion that you can do on a motorcycle when something happens is panic.
A lot of it comes, like when I first started riding, I mean, there were a lot of old timers out there that these roads that we're on weren't always paved. They were dirt roads. And for you guys that are dirt riders and have been dirt riders at one time, yeah, it's just the opposite. You rely heavily on a back brake in the dirt. And a lot of those guys, well, you never use that front brake. That front brake will get you in a lot of trouble, and it can. But we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about panic stopping on a decent road surface. Anyway, and that's what I was taught. Just use the back brake only. Maybe the right information back in the day when a lot of the roads weren't paved, but the wrong information today. It's just don't lay the bike down on the street. You're going to stop a whole lot quicker by keeping the rubber on the road. You're going to be able to avoid. All right, so maybe in the middle of the panic stop, you see a way out. Go for it. If it's safer than hauling it down to a stop, things are happening quick. You see a way out. Go for it. This is just my opinion, and I think a lot of people that have ridden for a long time will agree with me. Not 100%, but most will. Keep that rubber on the road. Rubber on the road is the best traction you're going to get.
And the other part too about laying down the bike, some people say, well, it's better than hitting the car. Well, there's going to be a time in that emergency stop where, yeah, you are probably going to hit whatever is in front of you. So at that point, your object is scrub as much speed as you can off that bike so that if you do impact, it's not as major as it would be if you decided not to, or you decided to lay down that bike. So just make sure that, again, practice. We're forever practicing. We're forever learning. You never got this. And yeah, practice those emergency stops. Just as much as you want to practice on that twisty road to getting that knee down, you should be practicing for when you need to jam on those brakes in an emergency situation.